Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, Senior Account Executive at GDMFX. This is today's European Session Outlook. We'll start with the North American markets. The US dollar edged lower against the yen as currency investors wagered that the Federal Reserve will keep key interest rates unchanged this month. But fear that the central bank might surprise the market weighed on investors' minds. Like investors in many major asset classes, currency market participants are keenly awaiting the outcome of one of the most closely watched rate decisions in some time. Uncertainty over the Fed's rate plan pushed traders into haven assets, market participants said. What we're seeing right now is basically risk aversion in the market. Goldman Sachs also called on Fed to launch another quantitative easing program. Goldman makes its call for Fed easing due to the financial turbulence sparked by signs of an economic slowdown in China, which has intensified since the last Fed meeting. Today, in the US, we'll have retail sales month on month as well as ex-autos, industrial production month on month, capacity utilization, and that's all. We'll move on to the EU markets. We had the EU industrial production year on year come out 1.3% better than expected, and month on month 0.3% better than expected. Swiss retail sales 0.8% less than previous, and French inflation ex tobacco month on month is at 0.3%, and the CPI in France year on year is at 0.1%. Today, we're going to have the EU trade balance, EU employment change, EU and German ZEV economic sentiment survey, and the German ZEV survey for the current situation of the economy. In the UK, the FTSE 100 dropped 0.5% to end at 6,084.59. It had been up by as much as 1.2%, with strength coming from the mining sector. Traders in the UK are also waiting for the Fed decision on Thursday. The pound was trading at 1.5422 versus 1.5418 late Friday, giving up earlier gains. The Bank of England policy maker Martin Weale said an interest rate increase needs to take place relatively soon in the face of firming wage growth, he wrote in a Sunday article for the Scotsman. Today, we await CPI month on month, year on year, and core CPI index year on year from the UK. All right, on to the Asian and Pacific markets. Bank of Japan left its policy unchanged as widely expected by the market, with some commentators having recently argued for a case in favor of further easing in October. They're going to keep monetary policy steady. They pledged to increase monetary base at annual pace of 80 trillion yen. Policy decision was made by 8-1 vote. The Nikkei 225 had a 530-point range, 370 down for yesterday. It was hit by Japan's Minister Shinzo Abe's comments about mobile phone rates being too high. Australian minutes members noted that growth in the GDP of Australia's major trading partners had eased in the June quarter as a result of weaker conditions in Japan, China, and other East Asian economies. GDP growth in the last quarter was expected to be weak, partly reflecting a fall in resource export volumes as a result of temporary disruptions to production. Domestically, recent data on investment intentions suggested that mining investment would continue to decline and non-mining business investment would remain subdued in the near term, although the demand for labor had improved, particularly in service sectors, and the overall unemployment rate dropped to 6.2%. Members noted that spare capacity remained and wage pressures continued to be weak. The board decided to leave the cash rate unchanged at 2%. Malcolm Turnbull is Australia's new Prime Minister. He'll focus on stimulating growth and to bolster business and consumer confidence by tackling taxes. We'll have the Royal Bank of Australia's Governor Debelle speech during the European night. In commodities, natural gas production from the 7 largest US shale deposits will drop for a 4th straight month in October to average 44.784 billion British thermal units a day, the lowest since March, based on an Energy Information Administration forecast released Monday. That's the longest streak of monthly declines in government data going back to 2007. Gold had range of $7, trading at 1,108. Silver had a range of 26 cents at 14.40 now. WTI crude had 120 range at 44.17, and natural gas is trading at 274 at the moment with a range of 7 cents. All right, thank you everybody. This was today's European Session Outlook. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.